Hello everybody, my name is James, hope you're doing well and welcome back to another video. And today we're going to be talking about a warning that's been issued to Lawson, as well as some updates on Ferrari. If you enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more Formula 1 content, but let's jump straight into the video. So let's start with Lawson, who's been handed a warning following a very difficult Australian Grand Prix. Now, this is not how Lawson would have wanted his Rebel debut to go. The whole weekend was a complete write-off. He was slow in FP1, slow in FP2 and FP3. He didn't even get out on track due to issues with the car. And then in qualifying, he was knocked out in Q1, just did not have the pace at all. He also had no pace in the Grand Prix either, and eventually spun out and retired. So yeah, just an awful weekend for Lawson, and he'll be looking to bounce back in China. And Martin Brundle wrote for Sky Sports F1, Liam Lawson of Red Bull, in particular, will be very happy that we head immediately into another race week, so that he can hopefully park the misery and errors he endured in Melbourne and put them right. The team doesn't do cuddles and reassuring words, and nor should they at this level. P45s are more their thing, if you can't keep Verstappen at least in view from time to time. Now, as we know, Verstappen was well ahead of Lawson during the Melbourne Grand Prix weekend, and it's been a theme with Verstappen's teammates. They struggle to keep up with him because Verstappen, is just so fast. He's so comfortable in that Red Bull and is just able to get the most out of it. And yeah, we've seen Pierre Gasly lose his seat at Red Bull, Alex Albon, Sergio Perez, and if Liam Lawson continues to have weekends like that, it could very well be Liam Lawson next. But yeah, as I say, China's coming up. He'll be looking to put Melbourne behind him and have a really strong weekend. But let's move on to Ferrari, with more being revealed about their car ahead of China. Now, as we know, it was not a good Grand Prix in Melbourne for the team, with Charles Leclerc finishing 8th and Lewis Hamilton in 10th, and qualifying wasn't good either, with Leclerc P7 and Hamilton P8. And these performances did not match practice, and in practice the Ferraris were flying along, especially Charles Leclerc, with him having some good race pace and topping FP2. Now, in my last video, I spoke about talk that Ferrari may have lifted their car ahead of qualifying for the Melbourne Grand Prix, because of the bumpy nature of the circuit, and that would have compromised aerodynamic performance. And a report by the Italian edition of motorsport.com has shed new light on this, with it being claimed that the setup the team identified in the simulator ahead of Melbourne had proved incorrect, with the car running too close to the surface of the track in Friday practice. Ferrari proceeded to raise the ride height for the remainder of the weekend to avoid excessive wear to the skid blocks, which brings the risk of disqualification, but in doing so, lost aerodynamic performance. So yeah, based on that, it looks like that ahead of Melbourne, Ferrari had this idea of how they wanted to run the car, but it just wasn't going to work going into the Melbourne Grand Prix weekend, and they just had no choice after practice but to raise the car a bit, which definitely would have cost them in qualifying and the race. The good news for Ferrari is that the race say that in Shanghai, the surface is considerably smoother, so it's less bumpy, and perhaps Ferrari will be able to run their car lower to the ground how they want it, and by doing so, being able to get the best performance out of the car. So yeah, there's potentially definitely more on the cards for Ferrari this weekend. At the same time, though, it is a sprint weekend, so there's only one practice session available before we get underway competitively. So yeah, the simulator work is going to be absolutely crucial, and Ferrari are going to have to get it right. And speaking ahead of the Grand Prix, team boss Frederick Vasseur said, from a technical point of view, the work we've carried out in the Maranello simulator for this event takes on even greater importance, as we only have 1 hour of free practice, during which one of the tasks will be to get an initial idea of the track surface, which has been completely renewed for this year. Charles and Lewis both like the Shanghai track, and we must ensure we do everything we can to allow them to get the most out of the SF25. But that's going to be the video from me today. Thank you ever so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe for more videos, and until the next one, take care. Bye.